Welcome my allies from all around to a live stream in which we are going to be going ahead and doing one build a day. I think that my camera's not quite right, so I'm going to move it at least a little bit to make it actually centered on me. Oh, we're not on the right touchback. What a shame. Okay. Okay, I know we just came, but I'm going to go ahead and go technical difficulties. Alright, so hopefully that should be good. See if anyone's been chatting in chat. Doesn't seem like it. I don't believe anyway. And it seems as though audio is also working, which is something I always want to check on these streams, just to make sure that nothing goes wrong in the whole entire thing. I'm going to open up the restream chat on here too, as I always do, because I like to do things late. Yeah, this time it was definitely like I wasn't prepared, like just because I wasn't prepared, but this time it was just because I was hungry and wanted to eat something beforehand. I still have popcorn here that I might want to eat later. We'll see how much I end up eating throughout the stream. But yeah, so let's actually go on to what we're going to be trying to do here in this world. We might do the actual build for March, because I haven't done that yet. But for now, the main thing I really want to do is to be able to actually build the path that's supposed to link up all these builds up, because if you don't know, this is like a world in which you're able to explore. Obviously, it's not like released yet, the map, but the idea is that you have this road here that you're able to go down. Here was the themes were like inconsistent, like it was just like, oh, whatever I want to build, I'll build that day, or like whatever a random generator shows me, that's what I'm going to build that day. But yeah, it's like it ended up being that I was thinking that's not really an efficient way of being able to learn how to build well. I mean, obviously I was able to do a variety of styles, but what I really want to be able to do as well is be able to create a nice path that links up these in a frozen style. So this is basically going to be my final build for February. Like, consider it like a final of a class, you know? It's basically like a way to prove or disprove like whether or not I've learned anything from my experience in doing this whole entire thing. I know that probably we're going to want to have like a darker kind of block in it, like just kind of looking at the block palettes. I'm trying to be able to decide what it ends up being that we'll be able to have that would be able to look nice inside of our pattern. Like normally might consider stone instead of cyan terracotta, but main thing is that I'm just kind of looking at the block palette, seeing what exactly works, what doesn't, and what we can go ahead and do for the sides and all that kind of stuff. I'm pretty sure that this one's here. Yeah, we're just going to delete that message from Discord since we don't need it. It's just that it's like I already sent a stream notification on the Craftway Discord, so that's able to stick around there. Yeah, that build we're not even going to look at, so I guess we did look at it, but I'm almost wondering if I should try and also use the transparent ice or translucent ice, since it is like a pretty common theme throughout all of these as well. Yeah, the fountain was fine. I think I changed it a little bit since I've actually done it, but yeah, the glass, glass was definitely a lot more specific to that build. I like this one just because it's a little, you know, a little piece of the laboratory of Sunfire towards this here. Got a winter campsite. Yeah, this one was like an interesting one because I wasn't. The thing is, I didn't really want to have greenery. Like as much as I like went for like the Frozen theme and stuff, I'm all like, I also don't really want it to be too much like classic snow. I just want it to feel more like it is like a tundra. I mean, I know tundras sometimes do have like vegetation in them, but I'm thinking like Antarctic kind of a place. Just for like personal pursuits, that's kind of what I wanted to do. But yeah, so I think that this is like a decent block palette. Obviously, the barrier blocks we're going to have to like be able to do to be able to link up all these paths to the actual path once it comes time. But for now, we're just going to go ahead and create whatever this thing is going to be. Try and experiment a little with how it's going to work. Like, I think that what would be best for it is being able to go ahead and have like the packed ice kind of in the center. Like I'm almost thinking maybe like the center 5 blocks is all going to be like the packed ice. Maybe even integrate blue ice like specks within there, depending. I kind of want to have like a proof of concept of what this is going to be, so I'm going to like extend it out to here, see how it looks, and then if once we get it right, then we're going to just repeat whatever like style that is throughout the entire thing. Gotta have a little bit of water right there. So we have the ice here. I almost feel like it'd be nice to have a little bit of like variation in like the elevation too is the thing. Like I'm wondering if like having it kind of go about, maybe even have like slabs, since we have the stone slabs in the game now. That actually might be a really good way to be able to have that variation without it being like too forced, as in like having it just be a single block that's higher than all the others, when that really doesn't make sense at all, you know? So yeah, we'll just kind of move these on the side because I think that actually is like our best idea at the moment, to be able to have them be like that. Perhaps even like jut in a couple of places. See how that looks. Maybe even like have it be like that for a little bit there. And hopefully this will be a nice little place for when people want to go ahead and like walk along here, being able to see all the kinds of stuffs in how it's all working out. Yeah, it definitely looks cavey and stuff. Wondering if I can get looking real good. Obviously we can have hidden lights because we have slabs. Here, of course, like, I don't necessarily want the entire place to always look good at night, because sometimes that, like, is very difficult to do without, like, taking away from the build itself in many, like, circumstances. But I also like the idea of having it so that it does end up going ahead and being a little bit nice whenever you turn out the lights and try and look at it from a different perspective. So I do like how this is turning out. I'm wondering if it would work like for all of what I've done, because obviously not all of what I've done has just been natural like stony builds and all that, but of course this is a path, and it kind of makes sense somewhat for it to be made in this way, in which you kind of like landscape the ground to be able to create something like this. I do like this though. I'm going to keep that. But I think that this one here needs to like not be actually, you know, humongous. I don't want a giant lump. So anyway, we have a person in chat, Chuck, I'm not sure exactly how to pronounce that, but CHQ says you deserve viewers sad face. I'm not going to like necessarily like what was I going to say? Either way, it's like I will admit that it's like we don't really have too many people watching at the moment, I don't believe, but it's still fun being able to check out this whole entire world anyway. Like, I do enjoy quite a bit being able to improve my building skills, and the series was definitely meant for primarily the audience of people who just kind of want to do stuff like people. I want to inspire people as well, just mainly like the fact that I'm doing this whole entire like series. Like, I'm hoping that people will be able to take something from my little experiment or whatever, and be able to do all that kind of stuff. Like, obviously, having people, having viewers to be able to do that would be nice, but obviously, it's not too bad to be able to just improve your own skills, you know? So anyway, how is your day going, man? My day has been going pretty good. I've been doing lots of work and stuff, because I just got done with a shift over at the verification office, and now it's time to actually relax and be able to do stuff. It's one of the reasons I actually don't stream like earlier in the day, because I am very much busy with other things. But yeah, definitely nice to be able to see what other people are up to around now a time. I kind of also want this mound to not be, in the way of this path, because I think that this snow wants to link up. The snow wants to link up, of course, and I don't necessarily mind this being in the way, because obviously you can walk over that. This you can also walk over. Well, actually, that's exactly the same point, isn't it? It's probably fine. I think that would be fine if we end up going there. If that's all right. I feel like we could do more. Oh, right, snow layers. That's, of course, something that we can always add. Let's go ahead and I kind of want to clear my inventory a little bit. As much as we have, like, the light blue concrete and, like, cyan terracotta and stuff, not sure necessarily how much we need it. Maybe for an entrance. Ooh, that might be a cool idea. Let's have it be connected. And then we can do that. We have one on the other side as well. So we have like a 5-block gap. We can just go ahead and have that be heading in right there. That's a nice-ish archway. Maybe it could be a little taller, because I think it doesn't look 100% right now. That looks even, right? Am I right? I think that looks even. Obviously, we can use some end rods too. End rods are definitely like a nice thing with ice. I'm going to have a little piece of popcorn now. Obviously, this is going to be kind of loud. I wish this opened a little bit further, because right now it's like a little bit not open by a long shot. It's like I'm just hungry right now. It's like I haven't eaten in like forever. So please, hopefully you don't mind me just chomping on a little bit of popcorn every once in a while as I go through here. Let's clear the inventory, be able to actually grab a little bit of these block pallets. So as much as I could go with the cyan, I do like the cyan though. The cyan actually kind of blends in with the ice a little bit. I'm almost wondering if I could do like an outline of this somehow. I don't know. It's like if I have the end rods here. Because if I don't like these. It's like if I get rid of that, it just looks like a bunch of lines. And maybe instead of having one hanging down, we'll just have like a bunch of them kind of like poking out and stuff. I'm wondering what it would look like if we did that instead, I think. Maybe. There we go. That's pretty cool, I think. They are just sticks, if I'm to be completely honest. So I'm not sure if that's really what we want. Let's have an archway of ice instead and try and like accent it with the blue concrete, because I think that that might look a little bit more in place. I keep hearing things. I'm not sure if that's directed towards me or what's going on. Discord's weird in that like I'm just able to hear it on the side. But yeah, let's go ahead. Fill this in. Be able to see what's going on. So you have that there. It does look a lot more icy. I'm just going to mute Discord because that's going to be like distracting for a long time if I keep that on. I feel like doing this would be the same exact problem in that they just look like sticks poking out. So I think that we could accent it with the blue like I said I was going to earlier. Maybe I could even just have it be like an outline. See what that looks like, because I have no idea. This series is all about experimentation. And let's see. What if I'd use a darker color? Because obviously I like the light blue, but we've learned that that might be overpowering, and that it looks very light and blue and colorful and nice. And there's nothing wrong with colorful and nice, but to have a color like be able to contrast with another is normally better. Normally. So let's see that. Oh, I do like that actually. I wish I could make this bigger, because if I do like another like indent here, it's not going to look right, because oh well, first of all it's not symmetrical, but yeah, it's just not going to look right with how it does it. Like unless I do this, and even if I do that, it's not like going to look perfect unless I like maybe if I match it on the outside and the inside. I don't mind that. If we go ahead, do this, replace this block. Oh. I mean, it looks nice, but it also doesn't too much look like an arch as much as it looks like a doorway. It also kind of looks like a rainbow. So, I'm trying to think if there's a good way of doing this. I could obviously make it wider, and that might not be a bad option. But I'm wondering if this idea just is in vain, and I'm trying to make something work that doesn't necessarily need to work. But we'll see. I want to like see what happens if I poke this out. Because one of the lessons I learned while doing the series is that flatness is the root of all evil. And I know that sounds a bit weird, but it is. The flatness like is one of the things that was like so one of the reasons why my like temple didn't work out like at all the way I wanted it to. Since that temple, like it just was a bunch of boxes that looked very flat, and like I realized immediately afterward, it was like, yeah, that's not my best work. I can do better. And yeah, that was just kind of the end of that. I didn't really adjust it that much afterward, but either way, I'll learn my lesson one way or another. If I do this, I'm like thinking maybe it will look nice because it's not quite flat, but it's also like not quite like indented. I think that that's good. I could try a few other things like on the other side, but I think that that is definitely like a good idea. Because I'm wondering what else I could do with this thing. Because obviously I can like add lights is also like another alternative. I could be all like, hey, I have a prismarine that I can go ahead and light this thing up with. And that's fine. Could also do that, which, eh. It's not the same problem as last time where it was just like a bunch of pokey out bits, but it's also like, it's a bit too minimalistic, in my opinion at least. So what I could also do is that instead of doing that, what happens if we just go ahead and like replace like some of these blocks to make them like stand out? Like maybe we have like this one be that, that one be that, that one be that. Then we have a bit there, have a bit there. I do like the look of that. What does it look like with the ice on the other side? Ooh. Oh, I like that. I think that because my random tick speed is 0, it's not going to melt this ice, by the way, if you're concerned. I believe that that actually might be a really cool thing to have. So I might go ahead and stick with that, I think. Yeah, let's stick with that. So here we go. We can go ahead. Just replace these bottom bits with that so we can have the ice going about and have it be all cool and stuff. All cool and stuff, but you know, because it's ice. Yeah, I like that. I do like that. I might even be able to have like a sign or signs, like say I'm like now entering like Frozen builds or something. I don't know, the ice themed builds and all that. Is this? I kind of want it to be in between the two. So there's 3 blocks there between that and 3 blocks there. Oh, it is in the middle. Okay. It doesn't look in the middle, just to me. Maybe it's because I have like a block on the other side. Like if I go ahead and do that, does that look a little bit more middle-ish? Yeah, that looks a lot more middle-ish. It's also probably because this thing is like very close. It's very much like on the overlap, so it just kind of makes it seem like it's not quite in the right position. But yeah, I feel like that's good. Right here, we can go ahead and like integrate this a little bit better. Maybe have like the yellow go in a little bit more. Have like a little bit of green here. The blue can also pop in. I almost kind of want some of them to also go in the other direction too. Like have a little bit of ice there. Maybe even like have it just randomly like pop in. I don't know how much that looks right. Maybe if I do that, it kind of looks a little bit better. And then we can have like ice be able to leak its way onto the other side of this whole entire thing as well. So there we go. I think that that's kind of looking good right there. It kind of has this nice transition point. I think having stone around it would also like emphasize it a little bit more. Being able to go ahead and do that. And yeah, snow layers is another thing though that I can do. Let's go ahead and get this guy out of the inventory too. Snow layers is something I came up with a long time ago, never implemented it. So what happens if we go ahead and kind of like just sprinkle the outside with these layers to see how that ends up working? Because I don't know. I'm very much undecided on the whole issue. And I'm hoping that if I do end up going with it, that it looks alright, you know? It kind of makes it pop. It's obviously like a very subtle touch that isn't like impeding on the road too much. I feel like it could impede on the road a little bit though. Like having it do that might add a little bit more like noticeability to it, in which like it's kind of believable as well. Maybe make these ones a little bit taller than that. That just is one layer there. I think that's good. I think, at least. What do you guys think, if anyone's watching still? Doesn't look like anyone's watching still, but nonetheless, we're going to continue on. Go back to my restream chat. I kind of want popcorn. Since no one's watching anyway, you know, might as well treat myself, you know. Treat yourself. Because I think this is starting to look all right now. Obviously, maybe I can like experiment with a different path design to make sure that this one's the one that I really want to go with. But for a start, that's definitely nice. I think that other things could be like icicles that are like popping up, because I normally do that with like light blue stained glass and white stained glass. I don't think I've truly perfected that though, through all my endeavors. Maybe just because I haven't been using it very much, but yeah, maybe that's something to consider for a future. It's being actually like use those blocks. That's enough popcorn for now. So let's go ahead and continue on with this whole entire thing. So yeah, let's experiment with a different path design. Because obviously we can have like the middle be like this with like the blue ice just popping out at different random locations. Maybe even like have the blue ice kind of like integrated into here as well. I don't know. I'm also like just assuming that this is going to be like the final form that I'm going to go with here. But because there's other designs too. Like obviously I can just make this kind of more of a snowy path so that people don't have to run across the ice. If we have snow, is there any other block that we'd be able to have on the side? I feel like stone is basically our go-to block. Maybe we can go with grass. Grass is like one I haven't really been playing with, mostly because of like a previous comment that I made in which like I don't really want to focus on vegetation. I want to focus on the actual freezing aspect of it. I mean, maybe that's one reason to consider not using grass now that I think about it. Maybe let's not use grass actually. So let's go back to like the stone. Like I feel like the stone on the side and stuff is definitely like a good idea. If we go ahead and like have the snow in the middle though instead of the packed ice, at that point we would be able to just be able to focus on that we could have icicles popping up on the sides though, instead of it just being what consists of the path. So we can go ahead and have it be kind of like this for now. Let's grab a slab so we can deal with that too. We can go ahead and organize this a little bit so that it's all together and all that kind of stuff. Because at that point, we can go ahead and have it so that like these icicles are basically just going to kind of pop up wherever. They're just going to be here like that. Have kind of stones surrounding them, have some top snow just to make them pop a little bit more. And then at that point you kind of can see that it's a little bit more meant to be in that kind of a sense, in which we have like those popping up instead. It's a very white path though is one of the problems, and having a very white path can cause snow blindness. I think this one's better. Like, this idea has merit in that like the icicles are more popping out of the ground and show it, but I think that this one just looks aesthetically more pleasing, in with the blue colors being able to mellow out, have different like types that are mixed in with the ice and all that kind of stuff, and multiple patterns. This one is just a little bit too bright and like not very, it doesn't have enough darkness in it to be able to counteract the whiteness that pours into your eyes when staring at it for too long. So let's go ahead and like redo all of this. Watch that plop down to the ground and dissipate. And then we can go ahead, get rid of these. There's something about just like watching like the snow be able to go down to the world limit and just like disappear like that. It's like brings a little bit of joy. And then we can go ahead, have these kind of going about. Obviously with this design I kind of made it so that it's in reality supposed to be a 5 wide path, but the stone kind of pops in a little bit is mostly how the design works. The other one was mostly 3, and then we have like kind of snow layers on the side to be able to try and counteract it, but it doesn't really need to at that point. And here we go. So we've got like this whole entire path design kind of worked out already, which is very nice, very, very, very nice. And we can go ahead, work with this. So let's go ahead and do that, just to make it a little bit more balanced. Let's make it like this. I like that better. Now it's a little bit too big though. I'm going to make it like this, I think is better. That way we can have a little snow layer there too. There we go. Being able to like work with having things truly like look natural, even though it's not actually how the world was naturally built, is definitely one of the hardest things to be able to do in Minecraft. Hopefully this will end up looking nice by the end. I do like how this is looking so far though. So we can go ahead and continue this on down. Let's just create the entire path, and then we can be able to do the whole entire thing as we go. Be able to connect it up with the other bits too. Maybe even like edit the builds a little bit more to be able to be more visible. Obviously this one I have like templates for where you can stand to be able to look at it, but I'm almost wondering if this one isn't necessary to like see. Like obviously you want to see like the day 20 type of a thing with it, but yeah, I'll have to kind of play with that and see like what I want to do in that kind of a sense. Yeah, man. The entire month of February dedicated to Frozen builds. I feel like I've improved my Frozen style, but I also feel like I'm not sure. Sometimes I'm like, I don't know. I'm not sure if I have really improved or not. And sometimes I'm like, I feel like I've like been able to experiment a little bit more with like shaping the ice to look a certain way that maybe I've improved. Obviously, these last few days weren't too focused on ice, if I'm to be completely honest. Like, it was most definitely like cold, but it definitely wasn't like much in that kind of a way. Hello, Owen Plays. We are doing one build a day, which basically is a world that I've been doing since the 15th of January. I've skipped a few days, but I've been trying to do one build a day to be able to improve my building skills. This world here, basically like there's a path that leads all the way down to be able to see all these kinds of stuff that's been doing here. Right now we're trying to build the thing that connects them all, because obviously I've been focused a lot on actually doing the real builds, that I haven't been too focused on getting the paths connected, be able to see everything that's been going on inside of the world. And hopefully that's something that has changed. We've been working on a path design. Right now I'm just kind of pushing the ice to go all the way down to the end now that we know that. Since we have like all kinds of different stuff here with the ice and all that kind of stuff, and an archway to signify that it's different from the previous area. So anyway, do you have helpers to help you build? No, I do not. I am doing this world mostly for myself to be able to improve my building skills, so I'm trying not to enlist the help of anyone else. So it's like for the Frozen, theme, I've been doing... okay, so I skipped ahead there. So for all of February, I've been doing a Frozen theme to be able to improve just in that sub-area, so that I can be able to increase my skills in that kind of a way. For like the next month, I'm going to improve my skills in builds that are like based off of abandoned stuff, which will be interesting because I have to integrate a little bit of story of like why the build was abandoned or like something like that. And I have other stuff planned for future months, but we'll see what happens there as we get to it. So hopefully I will improve my building skills. Hopefully people will enjoy what I'm doing as well. And yeah. So Owen said that you deserve people watching. I try and keep my ego as small as possible. So obviously, like, it would be nice to have people watch to be able to share the stuff I've been doing in this world. But obviously, it still is definitely something that I got to understand that this is... I gotta do stuff for myself sometimes, and I've got to be able to improve my own skills in building. So I'm going to be streaming until 1 hour and 20 minutes from now, and hopefully that will be able to shape up this place and make me a little bit of a better builder. So we'll see how that goes, whether or not I'll be successful. Obviously, like, when I look at some of these builds, I'm like, oh, wow, I really have improved my skills. Like, this mountain actually looks like a mountain. And then I go, like, and then I keep on going. Just keeping on build my ice path here. Then we get to an ice portal, and I'm all like, that doesn't look that great. And then we get to here, and I'm all like, oh, I don't even want to look at that. I wish I just never built that at all. There's lessons learned there. There's lessons that, oh my, we can't build flat. Flat buildings look awful. And I don't want to ever build that ever again. It looks amazing and okay. You on Xbox? Well, thanks for the compliment there. I am, in fact, on the Xbox. It looks amazing, no joke. Yeah, thank you. Um, you're not talking about that, right? Because that does not look great. But yeah, it's like I'm playing with an Xbox controller here. Yeah. Um, well, obviously, I can play with an Xbox controller like on Windows 10 too, and the phone and the Nintendo Switch. Well, actually, you can't on the Nintendo Switch, or at least you can play with a controller, but you have to use like a Nintendo Switch controller, which I have one of those. Like for whenever I record Nintendo Switch stuff, I have my little Pro controller that's plugged into the console with the USB-C cord. I always plug my controllers in so they have a little bit of so I make sure that I get the quickest input as possible. Obviously, it doesn't matter in Minecraft, but you know, if I ever decide to do a shooter game, I can go ahead and do that and be super awesome and get lots of points and stuff. So let's go ahead and do this. I almost kind of want these to like be extended inward, just since I already know the block palettes. This is how I've set it up, by the way, is that for all these builds we have the block palette that I worked with to be able to do it. This is the snowman that has like all the different components and stuff. I like that snowman as much as it was like such a weird build to do for the last day. It was just like, it's fine. I like it, and he looks a little bit derpy, but yeah, it's like I try and be able to look at the block palettes, be all like, okay, what build or what blocks work with the Frozen theme, which blocks don't, because I also like want to look at like my mistakes as I go through this of like, okay, what builds do I not like, what block palettes didn't really work out as well as I thought they were going to, and all that kind of stuff. It really depends on what happens with the block palettes. Like sometimes I do the block palettes first and see how that goes, but other times I end up being able to build the thing and then look at what blocks I used after. It really does like depend on what build it is that I end up looking at that for. So anyway, this is just the standard that I try and do. Be able to have the areas kind of going about here, in which have like the different shapes as you are able to go around the path, so that when you're walking along this path you can just go ahead and go here. Obviously there aren't blocks here yet, but you can go ahead and walk right up to be able to actually see the builds in person, which is one feature that I really wanted, so that once this place actually goes live you'd be able to do that and be happy. So let's see how this whole entire thing ends up going. Obviously that's going to be my first build in March, so I don't want to build too close to that just because I know it's going to end up being different. And yeah, let's see how that goes. I'm going to drink a little bit of water here as we place blocks. Got off track a little bit there. You can make it live to other people. I'm not sure if that's supposed to be a question, but I am trying to wait until the 365 days are done until I actually make this world available for download. So once I do my 365 days, which will take a while, I'm probably going to be done by the 1st of February. I know that I said I started at the 1st of January, but I've missed quite a few days, and I'm still kind of trying to catch up to be able to make it so that I end up being able to do this thing correctly as I go through. So let's just go ahead and fill this stuff in here. Just get like the basic idea done, and then hopefully we'll be able to fill it in a little bit later. But yeah, there's a lot of things I want to do to be able to make it like live to other people, like teleport commands. Like that's probably something I'm going to do with like the archway there, is like maybe have like a a button on the ground or something that returns you to the main hub. That's going to be like all the way back at the beginning of this trail, in which at the hub you can press a button, be able to teleport to whatever location you need to for all of these like kinds of builds and all that. And hopefully that'll end up being good. I just gotta make sure that it's not a pain to be able to walk to the 365th build. I have an equation for that somewhere, because it's like, I think because each build is like 25 blocks apart, and like the first build is at 0, that means that to get to build like whatever number, you have to teleport to Z coordinate 25D, and D is in like what day it is. So 25D minus 25. So once you get to 365, we can do just a little bit of quick maths. So 365 times 25 minus 25. You would have to go 9,100 blocks out. So this path is actually almost going to be 10,000 blocks long by the time this series goes to its conclusion. So that is going to be quite the thing, actually. I almost feel like I need teleport commands because that is like so long. But yeah, I haven't played Minecraft in a year. Yeah, yeah, definitely like people can drift away from the game like based off of different factors. I'm not sure exactly the reason you stopped playing, but I can understand that other things have definitely other things can definitely take your attention, and it's just nice to always know that you can come back to Minecraft if you ever feel like it. It's a nice chill game that you're able to do whatever with whenever you want to. So let's go ahead and be able to try and work on these kinds of things here. Yeah, 10,000 blocks is a lot. I know that for a fact. Well, everyone knows that for a fact, but I'm just saying that it's like, it definitely is true that this place is going to be quite the ordeal by the end of this whole entire thing. And I'm excited. Maybe I shouldn't be too excited, because I really should more be like, oh, I need to be able to be patient. I need to be patient to be able to wait until I can actually work on that, be able to make this place look super spectacular and marvelous, and see how that ends up going by the end of this project. I think that's fine. Yeah, I mean, it probably could. Yeah, that's fine. Want this place to really look nice by the end of it. Yup. Smiley face, smiley face, smiley face, smiley face, smiley face, smiley face. That's 6 smiley faces. That's a fact. Look it up. And yeah, so let's continue on here. Be able to have the snow all about. Make it go about here. I think that this is the same kind of a thing. Thumbs up, thumbs up, thumbs up, thumbs up. That's 4 thumbs up. Look it up. Is that going to be a thing now? I'm tempted to make that a thing, but at the same time, I feel like if ever the chat gets crazy with a bunch of emojis, I'm going to go insane trying to list them all out and count them in my head to be able to give myself that kind of a challenge. But yeah, anyway, let's continue on with this. One thing that I forgot that I want to do is be able to have the blue ice as well, so that this place ends up looking nice in that regard. Because the blue ice on Craftaway, which is a a Minecraft like SMP world, survival multiplayer, in which I and a couple of other YouTubers are playing. Like, we have to craft a winter district, which is one of the reasons I want to do the Frozen theme, because I want to build more in that district. I feel like I'm going overboard with the blue ice. I don't know. I might get rid of this piece of the blue ice, just since it's a little bit much. But the craft a winter district, like, I only had, like, blue ice, like, per, like, one block and stuff. I think it looks nicer when it has, like, patches. Obviously not every patch has to be like super large, but I guess one of the other factors is that that's a survival world, so I have to go ahead and gather up all the ice, which is a lot. Like, if you're only gathering up the normal ice, it'll end up being like 81 blocks to get one block of this, 9 blocks of packed ice to get one block of that. And that adds up over time. But, yeah, I think this is quite nice. Yeah, this is quite nice. It's like the Hypixel server. It was small, but it gets bigger. I mean, maybe. I'm not sure if my one build a day series is going to quite live up to Hypixel. But, is Hypixel the server that's actually, like, creating Hytale? Because I feel like that would make sense. But of course I think too logically, so maybe it doesn't make sense. But yeah, it's like Hypixel. I haven't really done too many servers, if I'm to be completely honest. Like, the servers, although they're fine, I just like the real game and being able to do mini games in that kind of a way. Like, obviously mini games. This is going to be a rant, but minigames on the it's the biggest server. Yep, definitely not going to be like this world then. And yeah, it's like minigames on the Xbox One edition of the game. Like, not this. This is actually like Bedrock, so it's like Pocket Edition, or what used to be Pocket Edition, is what I'm playing on right now. And like the Xbox One edition of the game, in my opinion, had the best minigame experience in all of Minecraft, mostly just because it was like actually built into the game. Like, the people who were creating it just were like wanted to create it just for fun, honestly. It's like they just split their team up into 2 groups and we're all like, yep, we're going to be able to create minigames that people can just go ahead and do, be able to have like all these kinds of like awesome battle maps for like a nice Hunger Games style type of a world realm type of a thing. And it was just like a really fun thing that's like, I'm really sad that that's not been implemented on Bedrock. And it's mostly because like they want to encourage like Java edition servers to be able to join. And they don't want to, compete with them by creating their own system. But it's what it is. I think that it's a missed opportunity, but it's fine. Got Pocket Edition on the Windows 10. I can only play that. Do you mean you can only play that like because it's just like the best edition for you, or is it just because that's the only version you own? Because obviously there are some people who think that Pocket Edition like is like the superior version of the game. Not many, but like back in the day, like there are a few people who are all like, yeah, it's like this is actually a really cool version. That it's surprising that not too many people really appreciate the different aesthetics and effort that goes into being able to create it all. But yeah, it's definitely improved since it was first in beta. But it's got its quirks. It's got just like any game, really. It does that. The real Minecraft crashes. Do you mean like real Minecraft is in Java? Because I'd agree. Java Edition is... people complain about the bugs in Bedrock Edition, but Java Edition has like a lot more inconsistencies in my opinion. Like, it's just like the only reason uh, people don't say it is as buggy is because like the Java edition is basically gone with the notion of like Bethesda. Like it's not a bug, it's a feature, or well, it is a bug and a feature. I mean, and it being simultaneously both of those, like you don't really have the option to improve the game or be able to really patch things. It's like, oh, um, it's just what it is, I guess, you know? But that's just a funny thing. Minecraft is a funny game because honestly, no version of the game is perfect. I don't think any version of the game can be perfect because it's being developed by imperfect people. And that's what can be said by any game. Like, obviously, like, there is no perfect game. You could argue that some games are near perfect. You could argue that some movies are near perfect. You know, it's not like just in video games or anything. But the fact of the matter is, there's room for improvement. There will always be room for improvement. And that's, you could consider that to be like a negative thing, or you could consider it to be a hopeful thing. I can go on in a philosophical debate, but you know, I'm not a philosophy major, philosophy major, and I don't really, I mean, obviously interest me, but I don't necessarily think it'd be that interesting of a conversation, so let's just not. So here we go. We actually like made a lot of progress here just by chatting. Well, I say a lot, but you know, there's all that. There's a reason this is being done in a live stream. If I was just trying to do this like on my own without the encouragement of viewers or just the encouragement of like being able to create content, because a content creator, when he's not making content, he's being sad because he's not making content and all that kind of stuff. So anyway, Owen Plays asks, how come none of your subs are watching? That's an interesting question. I am betting, like, obviously I don't know, but I am betting that it's like a combination of factors. The main one being it's late at night. And a lot of people just, you know, are busy during this time, and that's understandable. I kind of, like, people have told me, or well, I don't think they've specifically told me, but people have like said online that the best time to stream is between like 9 p.m. and 5 a.m. of like every night, whatever time zone you're in. But I think that's a lie. I mean, it might not be a lie for like all viewers, but it's just like a lot of people like have work from 9 to 5, so it's like they want to be able to go ahead and sleep at night. And right now, since it's a little bit late at night, obviously like people might be out doing things or just actually resting so that they can be able to do stuff in the morning. And I think like a lot of my viewers, a lot of my subs just don't really have the same schedules as I do. And so I think that it's like the best time, at least for like my audience, is to stream like around noonish is normally when I get my most views for like all my videos. But this is the only time I'm free, because if I tried to stream at noon, like I'm in a dorm like with a roommate, so it would be a little bit distracting. I don't really want to impede on them. Like obviously they're fine with me streaming, but I'm all like, well, I don't really want to like make you be quiet and like put a burden on you to not disturb what I'm doing. So it's like just kind of like a thing that I have to deal with. Anyway, I know I have a viewer now, but I was eating a little bit of popcorn earlier, mostly because I was very hungry. And hopefully you don't mind that it's like I'm just going to be able to indulge a little bit on some goodness that I don't really want to go to waste. I might have to put this into the microwave once I'm done a little bit more so that it's actually hot, because right now it's just, you know, at the end of the movie uh, popcorn that you would get like after it's warm and stuff. Like once you sit through an entire movie, it's like, oh, it's not really that fresh anymore, but it's fine, you know. Oh, I nearly choked on a kernel right there. I feel like I need a little bit of water. I missed a lot of school, so I got to make up a lot of days. I missed the message right then. So you can eat. Oh, thanks, man. Uh, I appreciate that. I was going to eat anyway, but it's good to know that people respect my decisions. But yeah, it's like, does that mean that you're like in a winter district then? I mean that when I say it like that, it just is all like, are you a winter district like a Hunger Games or something? But does that mean that it's like you get a lot of snow? Because that's kind of like what I would think, like with all the weather that's been going on recently. Like it would make sense that it's like school would get canceled with all that kind of stuff. Doesn't happen to me because I'm in Arizona, and Arizona is hot. I mean, it's not. It wasn't hot for the past couple of days. It was actually getting near freezing, but it didn't snow. You know, at least not like down here in the valley. Like it only snows up in the mountains, and yeah, got a lot of snow up in the mountains, but pretty much no snow on the ground here. Anyway, that's enough popcorn for now. So let's continue on. Let's just. I'm just going to go ahead and check like one thing, just to make sure I'm not missing something accidentally. Okay, good. So we can continue on our glorious path. So let's actually like connect these up too, since I think that that's all right. Okay. I don't know what that was in response to, but okay. So I want to make sure that these paths are like really connecting up correctly. Actually, I don't like how this one ended up going, because I don't think that one's needs to connect like that. I think that'll be fine though. That'll be able to make it all good and stuff. We can have two here. Just go with our standard pattern in which we have the 2 blocks here in which you can view the day 35 winter campsite. Be able to see all that kind of stuff there. So 1, 2, 3. Go ahead there. You play Roblox. No. I don't know why I had to think, but I did a long time ago. And when I say a long time ago, I mean like when Roblox came out. I want to say when Roblox came out, but I have no idea when Roblox came out. So when did Roblox come out? The Roblox Wikipedia page. Let's go ahead and look that up. So as of okay, where is it? Development. The beta version of Roblox was created by co-founder David Basowski in 2004. Oh wow, that's early. Of course, that is the beta version though. So it's like started testing like first demos that year and all that stuff. March 2007 became compliant with COPPA. Okay. Other kinds of like stuff like that. Interesting. So I didn't actually know it like when it came out, but I feel like I basically knew it after it 2005, not 2006. Cause I mean, it says that it's like beta started in 2004. It's like what's really strange is that it doesn't actually say when beta stopped, because obviously when beta stopped is like the official release date. Like that's when it really like became a game. Is once it gets into like the 1.0.0 update. Oops. Okay. The problem is like I use this like light here. Like this is how I like light up my face, and I have to like rest it on top of my monitor, so it's not in a very secure place. If I like wiggle my desk a little bit, it actually wiggles the thing so much that it just ends up falling and goes into and goes into free fall. Because it's not a stable equilibrium. It has a lot of gravitational potential energy, and wants to be able to actually go down whenever I want it to be able to just stay up. But yeah, I'm pretty sure I played it did I play it in 2007? I don't know how old I was. I think it was third grade. So yeah, somewhere around there, maybe a few years after it released. But nonetheless, I did play it back then. It was a whole different game back then. First of all, um, other than that, it's I haven't really looked too much into it. I really like some of the servers. I used to always do one with it was like an Agent P server in which you could go ahead and go around and stuff, and use a parachute and all that kind of stuff. It was fun, and because it's Agent P from Phineas and Ferb. If you don't know where that's from, but that was definitely a good experience. It's just that it's the game. I don't know. It got obviously not to everyone it gets boring, but just personally to me it did. Just because I almost kind of wanted to create my own worlds, but it was oh, you have to get a membership to create your own worlds, and all these kind of weird things where it's oh, you have to buy this and buy that, and I was well, this is a bunch of microtransactions, and I know that microtransactions have become commonplace in the modern day, but back then I was I don't want to play a game that has me wanting to spend money all the time. I just want to go ahead and just play. So I didn't mind buying a game and not having to pay anything afterward. It's just when it kept on trying to make me keep on having extra fees that it really started getting meh to me. I think the main thing was that I basically made a habit to log in every day to be able to get Roblox coins or whatever they were, and you could exchange those for Roblox bucks. I think enough for 5 days worth of logins got you one Robuck, and you need 100 something to be able to buy some of the items in the game. So it's I eventually was all I don't want to keep on logging in every single day for this. But yeah, Lego sewed Roblox. Could you repeat that? I'm not sure exactly what you mean by that. Ticks are removed. Oh, ticks. Oh yeah. I was wondering for a while there. It's ticks, and it's oh yeah, I actually remember that back in the day. But yeah, I don't know. It's I just haven't logged in for a while, so I don't know it. I shouldn't even say I'm an expert in Roblox. Obviously I've played for a long time, and it's or at least I played. I was one of the original people who played Roblox. I'm a hipster, but to say that is a little bit misleading, since I don't know much about the game at all. I feel like I should try some of those. Like Roblox, like people like really enjoy that game, and obviously like people also enjoy Fortnite and all that kind of stuff. Like I haven't really even tried Fortnite yet, but I know that it seems like a type of game that I could get into, at least slightly. It's like third person camera games I've never really been that interested in because I don't like a third person camera, but it still seems like a very interesting like concept despite all the hate that it gets. Especially since the game developers seem very friendly. It's not like they're just like some big company that's like trying to like cheat people out. Well, I mean, some people think it is because obviously there's a little bit of controversy around them selling dance moves, but it's just like, I feel like they try and make the game as fun as possible, and that's just like all that you can really ask of a game developer. Like they just add stuff new to the game like every like week or whatever, and that's just insane. Okay, yep. So yeah, just to answer your question and not get too off track, I don't play Roblox. Used to, but yeah. Although now I'm a little bit reminiscent about some of the old mini games I used to play. Like one of my favorites was like the disaster like simulator thing, where it's like you had like a bunch of like random stuff that like would try and be able to make it so that you couldn't survive. And the more rounds you survived, like the more points you earned, and the more points you earned, the more you could like be able to go ahead and like buy some of the stuff from like the shop around. Like like it wasn't actual money or anything. It was just like, oh, you can go ahead and like purchase like a jetpack from being able to survive like 20 rounds or something. I don't know the exact numbers, but that was fun. I really loved that one. I played that one like so much. Did you play Doom Spire Brick Battle? I didn't play most games. If I'm going to be completely honest with you, I didn't play most. I just had like a few servers that I like really loved, and played those ones. Like I was on the story. I was like the Agent P one. I was actually I think that was one of the reasons I stopped playing too, was because they changed the Agent P to like a SpongeBob map, and I was all like, eh. It's fine. Obviously, I like SpongeBob, but I was like, oh, but the Agent P was so cool because you could be like a secret agent, you know? SpongeBob, it's like, oh yeah, you can be an idiot, because SpongeBob basically is that. Um, Obviously, like people who watch SpongeBob, I'm not saying that they're idiots. I'm just saying that SpongeBob, the reason why he's appealing is because he's not necessarily like he doesn't have like his brains all intact, and that's why we love him. But anyway, let's go ahead and try and get this thing all working here, be able to get all together. Yeah, it's like this was, I believe, done on like a jungle super flat, so you can kind of see that like the grass is like a lot green here. But for some reason, like the biome didn't really transfer over, so it isn't as green over here, which is a little unfortunate. Although I don't know, it's like these are really weird. Oh yeah, I remember that. Or no, not the voice of SpongeBob. Um, yeah, the creator of SpongeBob died recently, which is very much upsetting. It's like he was the one who was able to really make the character lovable. Obviously, like people didn't like how the later episodes of the series went, and in some ways, I can somewhat see their points in how the whole entire thing in like the series didn't quite keep its charm that it used to have, but it still was enjoyable. It's like it's not like the episodes were like awful or anything, but it just, I think it was mostly it just didn't appeal to a older audience. It was the main thing. But yeah, the voice of SpongeBob is still alive. The voice of SpongeBob is I should know this. It was something Kenny, or it was Kenny something. It's the same person who voiced Spyro. Because like the creator of SpongeBob, like Steven Hillenburg, he was like the marine biologist that just decided, hey, I'm going to like create a series on just a bunch of marine creatures all about the sea. So it's like he just kind of took his passion and applied it to the field of um, the field of animation, and it was the most successful cartoon in the history of cartoons. And it's not the longest. Is it the longest running? Actually, now that I'm pretty sure the longest running cartoon is The Simpsons, but it's like I almost feel like SpongeBob has to be like a close second, if I'm correct. Like you would think at least, because like SpongeBob came out in like 1999, if I'm correct, and I think it's still making episodes. Like there's obviously like a lot of reruns, but you know, like there's like that. It's gonna annoy me not knowing the voice of SpongeBob. Voice of SpongeBob. Alright, read more. Yep, Tom Kenny. That's it. And I did confirm that he is still alive. I was wondering, because I was like, oh man, I'm not sure. So I just want to make sure that I am correct. And yep, he is Spyro the Dragon. I was wondering about that. Because I just want to like make sure that I'm not like spreading false claims about like everything and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, let's disable it here. And there we go. Okay, so let's keep on building. That was a bit of a tangent there, mostly because I wanted to make sure everything was fine with my recording and all that. But yeah, let's continue on. I'm liking how this is coming out. Thanks for like that compliment there. It is like starting to come together now. It obviously like the pattern is sticking to what we had in the beginning. We have quite a bit of progress, and it's starting to be able to actually link up to these areas here to make it all look fine and dandy. Let's go ahead and actually like clear the inventory just to organize things a bit. I think the one thing we're going to do right now is be able to do the barriers, because I want to be able to have it so that people cannot walk off the edge, or well, they can walk off the edge, but you know, make it harder for them to walk off the edge unintentionally. You are a really good builder. Thanks, man. I try. I'm definitely like doing this series because I've never considered myself to be a good builder. I think that by doing this is a good place to start in my journey towards being able to do that kind of thing. Because, like, I for the longest time I said my specialty was redstone. And I'm half right. Because, like, I'm good at redstone, but I've realized, like, over time, I'm not good at survival redstone. Like, doing stuff in survival mode. I have some builds that are really cool for survival, but I'm just not a survival redstoner. I am a creative redstoner. And when I say creative redstoner, I mean an adventure map redstoner. I love creating adventure maps because and mini games. Mini games are also pretty fun because those ones are ones in which I have like more creative liberties. It's like I don't necessarily have to like make things efficient and all that kind of stuff. It's just like basically trying to program a game. Like I am a computer scientist. I try and do all that kind of stuff. And yeah, you can get invisible walls on Minecraft Xbox now. Yep, these are the barrier blocks. If you don't have a barrier block in your hand, they are invisible. So I can go ahead and just go ahead and walk here. They are mostly invisible. I mean, you can see the outline. If I do change my game mode to adventure mode, though, so it's like game mode A, we can go ahead and not see them because I can't select the blocks at all when you're in adventure mode. So it very much looks like I'm just hovering in air, even though I know I'm not flying at all. But anyway, let's go ahead and switch back to game mode C. and yeah, be able to make it so that this whole entire area is fine and dandy. I need water. Alrighty then. Man, this is a lot of repetitive tasks that I really should have done earlier in the month just to like get it started, and I'd be all like, okay, I'm going to be able to continue this on for the next 28 days. But now, because I have like these 28 days that are completely done now and they haven't had any progress on them, I am basically just realizing the error of my procrastination. But that's fine. I mean, obviously, it is a time consuming task. If I did it bit by bit, it wouldn't have been as time consuming. But the fact that I'm doing it all now is fine, since live streams are meant for that kind of thing. I am a little bit upset though that I'm probably not going to have time to do my next build, because this is probably going to take the rest of the stream. But nonetheless, hopefully this is still enjoyable for you guys, and we'll be able to continue on with this as we go along and be able to make this actually look all nice and stuff. Here we go, 1, 2, bam. Then this is going to be 3 blocks wide. Because if you don't know, I actually do have an adventure map released. I want to work on another adventure map, and I am working on a project that isn't really secret. I am also working on a secret project because I don't know if I'm going to finish it yet. I just want to get it right mostly. But it's just that it's like I'm trying to be able to create a redstone maze, and it's definitely like an application of my redstone skills. I like being able to do that kind of thing. I'm hoping to add a little bit more coolness to the redstone maze, because obviously the only thing that is really too redstoney about it is the fact that, like, oh, you pull a lever, it opens a door, and you go over a tripwire, releases a bunch of mobs. But I think that the Amazing Adventure Map is going to be a lot cooler than what Aztec Labs faced earlier, and hopefully that will be a nice little addition in which we can get this whole entire thing. It'll be a nice adventure map in which you could go ahead and have parkour challenges, puzzle challenges, all kinds of challenges, and I want to be able to make that cool. I do want to create another story-based adventure map though, because obviously that adventure map is less story-based, more I want to be able to show off, or I want to be able to have like a fun experience kind of a thing, because like I think that the first priority in every adventure map is fun. Like as much as I would prioritize story, like I don't know, I might prioritize story, but it's just that it's like, because it's Minecraft, like people are really playing the adventure map less to experience like the storyline and more to have fun. So like I think that without a good story you can't have a good adventure map, but you also can have a mediocre story and have a good adventure map, due to the fact that, you know, you can make the puzzles fun and all that, if you get what I'm saying, since that would that's actually what creates the atmosphere, just in my opinion. The map needs to be user friendly. That was just something that I really had in mind for Aztec Labs. I was like looking at all kinds of different source materials of like inspirations for different adventure map concepts, and I was like, I don't really like how a lot of these adventure maps like handle themselves, in like how janky they are. Oftentimes, like to do a shop, you have to like place sand or gravel or something into a chute, and you can't place it too fast because otherwise it's going to break the system. And I'm all like, you shouldn't be able to break the system because that's not user friendly. But that's also the programmer in me speaking too. I'm all like, I am all about being able to make things actually work user end so that it all is able to work out. I also want to make things work on the back end so that it's actually efficient in being able to sort things out and dispense the item towards you and all that kind of stuff. I do have an idea for like a shop that I want to be able to create too, because I have my no cheat shop that I implemented at Aztec Labs, which is one of the reasons I say I'm good at Adventure Map Redstones, because that creation was awesome. I loved that. It's like the two things out of Aztec Labs that I loved the most that I invented myself were the Redstone Maze and the no cheat shop. Because the no cheat shop is a nice thing that can be built in survival, it can be built in creative, built for any adventure map. You don't need command blocks, don't need anything like that. And it was just a nice little concept that makes it so that no matter what you do, if you enter like twice the amount of item or currency that you need to buy an item, you get 2 times the items. And you don't lose money into the system. It perfectly allows it so that you can buy multiple items at a time and all kinds of other things like that. I'm not even sure if we're going to finish this in the stream. I was originally like thinking, oh, this is going to be like a fine plan for a stream, be able to check out the different builds and stuff that are around here for the whole frozen month of February. And yeah, now it's like, this is a lot. Am I almost feel like I'm about to disconnect from the realm. Yep, I did. Okay, so this shouldn't be a problem. I'm going to be back in like 3 seconds. So I'm just going to read these chat first, though. I'm learning how to be a better builder, I mean. Yeah, it's like that's definitely something that is like that I'm trying to do myself even. And just the one thing I would suggest is keep building. Like even if you don't think that you're doing very well at building, just keep on doing it, because like the more you build, the more you improve. And that's just like the general fact of it. Like being able to see source material is a very good thing. Like it doesn't necessarily need to be source material like created in Minecraft. It can just be like you're looking at a real life castle and you're all like, okay, I want to emulate that, see what in the world I can do. And that's just like one of the things that ends up happening from you. Learn to be a better builder from me. I'm not sure if that's a good idea. Obviously, I'm not the person who should really judge that. Obviously, I'm going to be more like hard on myself on whether or not I'm a good builder. But yeah, it's flattering to say that it's like I'm an inspiration to you and being able to show you like how I do all that kind of stuff. But anyway, this should take less than like a minute. I don't know how long this is going to take, maybe 30 seconds, but I'm just going to reconnect to the server and see what's going on. Alright, so we're generating the world back up. Yep, it is seeming to work quite well. I didn't miss any messages, so nothing got missed out on the stream chat, which is always good. Lol. Yeah. So let's go ahead and continue on here. hopefully we won't get disconnected again and mess everything up. But yeah, let's just continue on and call things good. I'm gonna get a little bit more water though. I've been talking a lot and not drinking enough. I've not even had like half of my bottle yet, and like it's been over an hour of streaming. But yeah, I like that technical difficulty screen. It just makes like things easier, just in case I need to like go ahead and like do something or go somewhere else, or maybe just not show like something on screen for a split second. I think I need to like reconfigure it a little bit so that it actually like shows the stream chat still, and make sure that like people can see what's going on there. Since whenever I transition into that scene, you can't see the chat, and sometimes you miss messages because of that, or I miss messages because of that. Well, I guess we all miss messages because of that, but nonetheless, it's like it ends up being that it's like, oh, I kind of don't like the fact that I'm not able to show everything that's going on here. And, there we go. Let's do this thing here. And there we go. So we have the blue ice set up now, or at least theoretically set up. I feel like I could edit a little bit, like maybe make this one not so large or something. Like I almost kind of want a little bit more variety in like the shape of the blue ice, but I think it's fine for now at least. This is a long pathway. This is a long pathway. We are not going to be able to do this by the end of the stream. I know that for a fact. But it's fine. We'll be able to continue on later. I don't have work tomorrow though, so maybe if I feel like it, I might do the stream longer. But that's also if I feel like it, because obviously after a while, like I run out of water, and after a while, my mind just gets really tired because I'm used to going to bed around like 11 or so, and doing my ending my stream at 10:30 allows for me to be able to get to bed by 11. So we'll kind of see how that ends up working, but who knows, maybe I'll continue on the stream a little bit longer to be able to actually try and finish this path. But we'll have to play it by ear and see what happens throughout this entire thing. So there we go. We have 2 there. 1, 2, 3. 2, 3. And there we go. Now it can all link up. Stone is definitely a common theme throughout like a lot of these, mostly because stone and ice, like I think that those like mix very well, like not necessarily even just in block palette, but also just in like style, or like in what's my word, in realism is what I'm really trying to get at. In that like you would see like the ice being able to go onto the rocks and freeze over and other kinds of stuff in that way. But yeah, I've got to go in a few minutes. All right, that is fine. It's been good hanging out. Obviously, you're going to be hanging out for a little bit longer, I guess, because, you know, it's not you're going now, it's just a few minutes away. So, yeah, either way, I'll have to play it by ear on whether or not I'll keep on streaming or not. But we will see how that all goes. One thing I will mention is that on my Behind the Frontline channel is where my streams always like go up for. So right now, I believe you're on YouTube. Yep, you are. So if you kind of like look at my channel, like the Super Allies tab, like in the corner, like my suggested channels, like Behind the Frontline is also myself. You can recognize it by my face and me holding up a controller and a camera next to my face. And like that's where I have all my past live streams. I've got like all kinds of different stuff there. Some live streams are better than others, but if you ever want to like catch up, be able to see what I'm up to, that's the place where you can do it. Let's do that. I think that looks fine. Then maybe even make it encroach a little bit there and have that be there. Sub so I can keep up and watch you more, maybe. Yeah, thanks for subbing. Definitely like it will be able to make you see the one build a day series. By watching the live stream, you did get a little bit sneak preview of my next builds for February, because I am done with that. But the one build a day, the 5th episode of one build a day will feature those. I only have 4 episodes up right now, though. If you do want to catch those one build a day episodes like as they release, though, or one build a day, builds as they release, that's actually like on my social medias, like at Allies All Around, Instagram and Twitter. You'd be able to catch those as they release and see what I'm up to. It's a little bit sad how I'm not able to do my one build. I could do that now, though. We'll do it tomorrow. As I always do. Fridays are very hard for me to do my one build a day series, since I just get so busy on Fridays with both like live streaming, being able to have classes and all that, and other factors, but mostly those. And here, I like this build. It is like moderately inspired by Avatar: The Last Airbender, and that's kind of one of the reasons I really like it. It's like, obviously it didn't turn out perfect, but like, to make it perfect, I would have needed to make it bigger, and I don't have bigger. I like, these builds are meant to be small. They're meant to be able to be done within one day, so that, you know, I actually have a completed build by the end of the day. Obviously, if I plan out in advance, I can like be able to try and combine builds together, like I did for like the like I did for the ending bit, but also for like where I have the Snow Mountain. The Snow Mountain was really cool, because that one was like totally improvised. I was like, okay, I have like multiple ideas. I'm just gonna build a Snow Mountain for now, and then it's like I went over here and I was like, okay, I kind of want to build a snow waterfall, but I don't want to like create a whole another mountain. I just built one to be able to have the waterfall go down, and I was like thinking in my mind, but why would I build another to be able to have that? Why not just have the waterfall on the mountain I just built in the like yesterday? And that's what I did. I just was all like, hey, I'm just going to make a frozen waterfall that goes down here. And then I was all like, hey, I'm just going to make a frozen civilization that is right next to the area. Which the frozen civilization was all right. I mean, I feel like if it was slightly bigger, I could add more like igloos, maybe even have like trees in the background and all that kind of stuff. But it was like, I just didn't really plan out my space all that well as I was building that. So I think that's one thing to learn, is that it's like, planning out your builds before you just start building is kind of an important part of building. You know, people sometimes underestimate the power of planning, because, you know, people don't want to plan. Planning is just annoying in some cases, but it's necessary in other cases. So here we go. Got this all here. We do have like random top snow that's kind of scattered all about here, though. It's like I don't really want too much. It's not too much on the actual build either. So there we go. Let's just make some of these slightly taller so that there's variation. Variation is key. And there we go. I like that. And implement berry blocks. Maybe actually have these here too, just to make sure that it's fine. You gotta go Alright, later on, Owen Plays. It's been nice seeing ya. Obviously, like, if you want to be able to see all my past live streams and stuff, be sure to check out the Behind the Frontline channel, all that kind of stuff. But till next time, see you later. So anyway, let's continue on. Am I able... Okay, no, I'm not able to place snow layers on top of barrier blocks. I feel like I could do it with a fill command, though. But obviously, if I do a block update, it's not going to do it. I want to test it. As much as it's not going to, like, matter, I'm just going to, like, do it. So fill. Gotta get things out of the way. So 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, snow layer. Yep, you can. So you can actually have floating snow, which looks kind of weird. But, you know, it exists. But of course, block update. I would have thought a block update would have like made it disappear, but apparently not. So I guess you can't place them by hand, but it's not like it's against the law to have a snow layer on top there. Anyway, we're just going to get rid of it because I know that it looks weird and we don't really want that to be there. So just go ahead and deal with that there. We'll have another bit here, kind of balance it out. Yeah, some of these snow layers can be a little bit taller. I haven't really been doing too much variation on these now that I think about it. Like some of them I have been, very much like maybe accidentally more than anything. But yeah, I think now it's fine. So yeah, like different amounts of snow that's going about here and all that kind of stuff. We can go ahead and even fill this in because I didn't really do a lot of that as I went about here. Because having snow is fun. Snow is good. Snow is friendly. Snow is... I don't know. I ran out of things to say about snow. So, there we go. Got a nice little cover up there since the snow honestly is covering up like most of the land when you actually like look at where the snow is here. Maybe even like make that more consistent here too, as it is able to cover the ground in a nice pattern. Because those two builds are basically combined. They're not very combined. At some point, I feel like I kind of want to be able to connect these up. Like have the this bit here connect to the bottom of the pit so that you can actually go into the pit. And so that if you're in adventure mode and you like fall in, you know, there's a way out. Instead of, you know, just cheating and getting out that way. But yeah. That's fine. Let's go ahead and also like make sure that we're like doing some of this too, since I haven't really been sticking with my pattern too much there. I kind of want to make sure that it truly has like this variation in which it kind of like pokes out and all that stuff. Because obviously the slabs poking out is fine, but I think that will look better if we also have like bits of the actual ground going inward. Yeah, that's kind of what we were doing over here, as we're like back to the end of it. I like how it's turning out now. It definitely has a little bit more character to it. I think that having just the tiniest bit of slab there is going to make that a little bit better. Maybe even a little bit of snow to make it more consistent too. So, because that area was very bland. And I don't think that that matches the area very well. So there we go, slabs. So I think that's definitely one of the things that I've been trying to be able to learn from this series is like not only like say, okay, what builds are bad and what builds are good, but also like what builds are bad but why are they bad, and what builds are good and why are they good. Like what makes a good build, like why is like some aspects of random awesome and why is sometimes random too random and doesn't have as much meaning to it anymore. So I think that once things get too random, it becomes like sporadic, where it doesn't look natural, but you also want to make it like random enough that it is like generated, that it looks like it was generated somehow by some other force. Anyway, now that we're done with all that stuff, we can go ahead and actually fill this in with the berry blocks. I think we already did that side. Yep. Just doing these as we go should be able to have it be fine. I think day 14 was our last day. Yeah, we're still 14 builds away from that way over there. We're pretty close to like the end over that way too, so it's not like we've made that much progress. We've just been making subtle progress as we've been going about here. Let's get some water. Get a nice view of the builds here and eat some popcorn because I still have some here that I still want to eat because I don't really necessarily want to waste it. It's good popcorn. I've also already popped and I've paid money for this, so you know, might as well eat it. Because I almost thought I could be able to make it through, like before the stream, to be able to be like, oh, I kind of want something to eat. But unfortunately, I had to eat in the stream itself, so, you know, it's a little bit like, yeah. Not necessarily the best thing in the world, but it's what I have to deal with. But yeah, it's like, I think that this place is looking nice. We only have like 10 minutes of what's scheduled to be like the stream. So we'll see how much longer I record this for. Because the problem is I really want to get to the end. But I know that to get to the end, I probably need to go for another, like, at least 30 minutes to an hour. And that's a huge commitment. Plus, you know, I kind of want to eat the popcorn, so be nice to end it at least a little bit early so that I can. Anyway, that was probably the longest popcorn break of the stream, mostly because I'm getting a little bit more and more hungry as we go through. And yeah, let's continue on here, shall we? With all the kinds of slabs and stuff that make this path nice. I think that it will be nice to be able to run along it too, being able to go ahead and jump along should be fine. Is there a setting in the Bedrock edition that says like disable exhaustion? Because I know that was a setting in what was it? Oh, I can't look at it because I'm like in my realm, which is annoying. Like world settings really should be editable even inside the realm area there without having to like do commands to do like change game rule this and all that kind of stuff. But disable exhaustion was a very nice feature because it basically meant that you could go ahead and like have it so that you didn't necessarily like need food even though you were in like a different game mode, because like different game modes like easy, you need food to be able to sprint around the place. If you're in peaceful, you don't need food at all. But that runs into one problem. Some of my builds have mobs integrated into their aesthetic to the point in which like it would be weird to go through the world without seeing all the mobs around you. It just wouldn't make sense to be able to like turn it to peaceful, because you'd pretty much destroy some of the mobs that would otherwise have been a part of the build, you know? Kind of edit this path just a little bit, make it look a little bit nicer. So it's a little bit smoother of a transition around some of the edges. There we go. Looks a little more cavey now. I think that's something I could do with like some of these, but I'm like, I feel like some of them, it's fine to leave it the way it is, but of course, you know, yeah. They have snow too, so it's like a little bit more decorated. This one, since it's just plain, it would otherwise just be a bunch of like, it would just be a gray slab, which is the reason why I was all like, I think that it might be fitting to have it be more like this instead, so that hopefully it will look a little bit nicer as we try and make the place look better. So, yep, we've already done that. Now, of course, we have this monstrosity. Which I think one of the problems with this build also was that it only used 2 blocks. Like I have the black concrete as part of the block palette, but that's only because, you know, you're not supposed to see inside the temple. Inside of the temple is very much bland, since the outside of the temple took way too long. That it was like, I'm not even going to like focus on the inside of the temple at all, which is unfortunate. What day was this? 26, yeah. I'm glad that one was an Instagram post, since I don't really have too many Instagram followers, or at least I didn't. But now I'm almost certain that, honestly, I probably get the same amount of love on Instagram as I do on Twitter now, which is kind of amazing because it took me a long time to grow on Twitter, and like Instagram has just grown rapidly ever since I've been doing like the one build a day, mostly because I've actually been posting consistent content. Problem with Instagram like prior to that was like I didn't know what to post. Like I think that the one build day allowed for me to like know, okay, what is it that I actually want to post here, like what kinds of things would be like smart to post here and other kinds of things like that, you know. And here we go. some of that like that, maybe even like some poking in bits so that it looks a little bit cooler. Having it be like this will make it actually look a little bit more like this is a section instead of it being too like flat, because otherwise it'd just be a line of stone with a little bit of in bits by which they reach into the temple. There's a lot of things to consider when you're doing this path, and I feel like by the time I'm done with this, I'm going to be an expert at making this path, but then I'm going to be done. And I'm going to be all like, yep, done doing this path for now. But of course, you know, I by the time this live stream is done, I will still have a bunch to do. So either we could do another live stream of me doing the rest of this, or I could just do it on my own. I might just do it on my own, but at the same time, I might not be motivated enough to do it on my own, since doing it on my own would like mean that I would have to go ahead and like do other stuff. Oh, that's interesting. I actually had the ice moving more towards the edges too back here. I could consider that too, but might not consider that right now as an aspect that we would consider for. I kind of like that transition actually, like being able to like go from here and like rainbow, like an awesome like world in which I can go ahead and like be all kinds of random stuff, and then you see like this and you go through the portal and it's like, ooh, immediately like right then you become like in a frozen area that's cool, and I actually really like that. But yeah, let's go ahead and continue on. Let's actually like build it from here, because why not? I think that this building it from here might be able to be a nice break from the other stuff, and we don't need that. I think that being able to just have it be slabs is going to be fine enough, so that we can have a little bit of variation. I like that. Have a little bit of icy or snowiness. Icy snowiness. Because although the path like before was only going to be like 7 wide, I think that having it like kind of vary a little bit makes it a little bit better in how it goes. A part of me, like, I don't think that I'm going to change it. I think this is a fine path. But a part of me almost thinks that I could have made this whole entire thing like wider to be able to really have like a lot more detail on the sides and stuff, and have like hills and things like on either side, and you'd be able to like go down a path and a break in the hill to go down. But I think that that would also like make it so that it's like, oh, you like have breaks in the hills like all the time, so you couldn't really establish a hill very well. Maybe a tunnel, I guess, but a tunnel could work to be able to break that up. But yeah, it's like there's just a lot of things I probably could have done, but it's like, I think that it's fine the way I ended up implementing it, and it'll be all right here. Okay, so it's the time in which I would normally end the stream. How much longer do we got? So we're at like 360 blocks right there. That's 100 blocks we need to do. That's 200 blocks we need to do. Almost 300 blocks of path that we need to do. And although we have already made lots of progress on this thing, I think that it is about time that I just go ahead and end the stream. It's been fun. It really has been. But obviously I need to go ahead and eat my popcorn. I need to go ahead and sleep. And all sorts of other things to be well rested for my day tomorrow. And all that kinds of stuff. So anyway, I would promise that this live stream would go on forever, but that would be a lie. Subscribe to the channel or follow on Twitch to be able to catch up on whenever I go live here. Follow me on my Twitters and Instagrams and other social medias, mostly Twitter and Instagram, I think, and I guess Discord, the Craftway Discord, which doesn't really count because it's not mine, but it's like all those kinds of things will be able to make you notified of whenever I go live. I love this little snowman. It's like, as much as it was such a ridiculous build to do, I love this little snowman. And yeah, it's like that's where you can be able to do that. The Behind the Frontline channel is where you can catch up on stream archives of whenever I go live and you miss it. You can go ahead and go there to be able to see what you missed out on. But yeah, anyway, I think that I've been streaming for long enough. So this has been Frontline, and I'll see you guys all in the next one. Bye.